মোহনবাগান ভার্সেস সাউথ ইউনাইটেড ডুরান্ড কাপে দুটো টিমই কিন্তু একটা করে ম্যাচ জিতে রয়েছে। এই অবস্থায় আজকে খেলতে নামছে মোহনবাগান, যেমন প্রথম ম্যাচে ডার্বি জিতেছে তারা, অপরদিকে সাউথ ইউনাইটেড তারা জিতেছে সিআইএসএফ প্রোটেক্টরের বিরুদ্ধে প্রথম ম্যাচ। আজকের ম্যাচে মোহনবাগান তারা যে ফার্স্ট 11 রেখেছে সেখানে কিন্তু ড্রাজিক এবং আলবার্তো রড্রিগেজকে স্থান দেওয়া হয়েছে। টিমটা এমন
on paper a few divisions below an elite team, as you mentioned, is a great word. The idea is obviously the whether do you so of the pressure do you sit
ম্যাচ শুরু হয়ে গিয়েছে ইতিমধ্যে। মোহনবাগান টিমে বিশাল কায়েত, রাহুল ভেকে, অনুরুদ্ধ থাপ্পা, লিসন কোলাসো, মনবীর, শুভাশিস, সাহাল আব্দুল সামাদ, আলভিতো, টাংরি, টেকচাম এবং ড্রাজিক।
takes it past the first challenge, and Liston's shot was blocked as the first warning shot from the Mariners.
What a quality he has. Every time he gets the ball on the wings, he loves to cut that ball in and look and face the goal and take a crack at the goal. But the defender really learns himself, doesn't know whether the ball is hit him and gone out or in. But what a chance that was.
Here's Sahal. Beautiful cushion touch. Picked up by Sapa on the edge of the area. And now into the box himself.
But look at the goalkeeper, just comes out, uses his arm to get another fling to reach the ball.
Now, Henry, you have no time to speak over the replay because Mohun Bagan are just putting.
গেল মোহনবাগান এক, কিন্তু গোলটা অফসাইড ছিল বলে মনে হলো।
Very quickly.
অফসাইড না, ওখানে দাঁড়িয়ে ছিল।
Intensity of passing inside that box was absolutely brilliant. And look at that, the creativity from Manbir also there. Sahal just putting that ball between the two lines, just not giving the chance to goalkeeper to react, and Manbir, like ever, just getting that goal that is required for them.
They started just 7 games for Mohun Bagan Supergiant last season. A bit underwhelming given how involved he has been in campaigns before that. And now he needs more goals, possibly from a central area where he could be another option given that Drazic has been brought in Also, the signing of Alinzuala Changte, which adds a lot more competition down the wings, especially on his side. So maybe that is the plan. Maybe the plan is to use Manveer Singh as a striker because it's a position he's been playing for the national team. So it does make sense in club football for him to get as many minutes in that position as he can.
Absolutely, because if you look at Mohun Bagan, they know exactly what they want. They want more goals on the board, and that's the reason why the intensity of the passing, the movement, the stretching of the defense has been really cool enough. They try to get, especially if you look Sahal and Abdul Samad, really
আবার অ্যাটাকে যাচ্ছে
that
মোহন
way to
বাগান
really pass on to
অভিষেক
Manveer.
টেকচাঁদ সিং
Abhimite for Dejan Trazic. Here comes the challenge from Rinchit. There's everything down the right channel again, Henry. That's where Abhimite, Manveer, Sahal, they all drift in that side. Trazic especially this time.
Yeah, it's interesting, when you look at Abhimite, you look at Subhashish Bose, they all try to get onto the wing, helps Liston get inside, play the 1-2 with Anirudh and get Samal in the center or get the crosses in. And that's the idea, to keep that intensity of passing in the attacking third, especially the vertical passes. It'll be very nice to see if South United can really get out on that transition with the ball, because one goal has just opened up the game for South United to get in and ahead into the attacking.
Dear creators, get a
6 মিনিট খেলা অতিক্রান্ত 1-0 গোলে জিতছে মোহনবাগান।
How keep? There's Mustafa, takes it quickly and cleverly as well. Gets it back. Took a little nick off Deepak Tangri, goes out for a corner. Good response from the side from Bangalore.
Yeah, that's important, when you get the ball and you get into the transition, you need to get into that attacking zone as fast as possible, and they were there. The diagonal ball just didn't take off from him. Just deflected the defender, went out for a corner, which is more advantage for them.
And now they've got to make the most of these opportunities. There won't be too many. But you never know, you get one from here and confidence just changes. It did go right over Deepak Tangri, slightly weak on the leap. Inviting ball once more, Vishal Keth had to come out and punch clear. The flag had went up anyway.
The crossings are dangerous here. Shown from South United, especially that corner also really ripped it. And then this curler, just an offside, that was Daniel, who was offside. But nevertheless, that was a little pressure on them. And that's what South United can do when they are in transition, a quick transition.
What a ball that is for Abhimite. Here's Manveer, gorgeous touch for Dejan Trazic. Mohun Bagan putting on a show every time they produce something like that going forward. It's here to entertain. Maybe this was the difference, Henry. Or maybe this is rather the difference, since it's happening right in front of our eyes, between a Mohun Bagan supergiant under Panos Del Peris and the same team under Lobera. Not saying that one was worse than the other, but the principles of attacking in this system just feel nicer to the eye.
Yeah, absolutely. But you see the fluidity of the ball from right from the defense moving up into attack. Midfield really involves. There is a side back coming in. The wing play is absolutely brilliant. Every time the ball comes in, you have Tian, you have Liston, you have Anirudh and Sahal up front there, always poaching for it. And that's the style we all love to watch, intensity high, attacking every time that the ball comes in.
I forgot you call them side backs, Henry.
We call them assistant referees and then side backs. Yep, but that's the old time, huh?
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure. The last time we were together, we were watching the La Liga legends from pitch side.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't have minded that again, but this is also very much a pleasure watching the Mariners take on South United. Just the one goal in it, but given how Bagan are playing, there'll be a lot more. Beautiful ball, and there's the beginning to a lot more. Gorgeous delivery, and Alberto Rodriguez plants an unstoppable header into the back of the net.
আবার একটা গোল দিয়ে দিল
And within 10
মোহনবাগান।
minutes, they're 2-0 up.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. 10 minutes, 2-0.
Corner থেকে আলবার্টো রড্রিগেজের গোল।
Ball curler, and he comes from behind. The momentum of his movement itself shows that he could see the space between the defenders to have a clear header right in front of the goalkeeper. Brilliant piece of work over there. Great corner.
Great ball from Thapa. Rodriguez knew exactly where it was going to come, and you need players who can deliver something like that. And it's so good to watch. The same players who were doing these things last season have continued to do them. Yes, it is not even for Bagan League elite competition, but when you get these things right against any team, it builds momentum going into the full season.
You're absolutely right. You know, when you talk about this fluidity, like you do it time and again on the practice ground, and then when you come onto the main pitch and you get these goals, it's heartening. You know, it really peps you up, especially the midfielders, and especially the set piece takers. You know, they feel they have to do a little much more better, get the balls in the right area, and the movement inside the box, I would say, that is brilliant to watch.
Again, good delivery down the right from South United as well. They showed that in the first game. It is one of their strong points. But what's happening is Bagan are simply stretching them, waiting to defend, and then creating
আবার অ্যাটাক
openings like
মোহন
this.
বাগানের। আবার একটা গোল হবে কি?
But the far post for Sahal Abdul Samad. What a chance. Could have been 3-0.
The way they stretch the defense, look at that. It's absolutely like auto. They are on auto mode. Just go on to the wide, stretch that defense, get the ball over. There is a man there. There are 2 or 3 options inside the box. But Sahal was the man who just could not hit the target.
He was asking for a handball as well. It seemed like he was appealing for it. Ball did eventually come off the post. Might have been a slight touch. Thapa. Is this going to be a repeat? Almost was. Rodriguez did win the header.
Yeah. It's important Rishik was the man who just went on to dislodge him, but though the ball ballooned over. What a combination we have seen over here. Sahal and Manveer in the first goal, and then the set piece, the robust header from Alberto Rodriguez.
And the goal scored by Manveer, one of the fastest in this Indian Oil Durand Cup. Remember that Rainier Fernandez also scored in the 4th minute when he got a hat-trick in Jamshedpur's first game of the season.
Yeah, but when you look at South United, they've not done really bad.
এই গোল হয়ে গোল হয়ে
That would have become something very, very popular, at least on the internet, if not in Deepak Ganguly's life.
But nevertheless, look at that attack. You know, the pressing was there.
Deepak Ganguly নিজেদের গোলে গোল করে
That's the
দিচ্ছিল
reason why
আরেকটু
the
হলো।
goalkeeper hurriedly put it up. There was another press from behind on Tangri. He just did not know what to do. Just cleared the ball. Haphazardly, lucky for them that the ball didn't enter the net. It was close.
Wow. He doesn't score too many on the other side.
Yeah, it's a great responsibility for him to be in front of the defenders to cut off all the chances that come their way.
Thapa, here it comes once more. Manveer. Drazic. We asked the question right at the start of this game about what the approach should be from South United. Should it be brave and fearless and go out and attack and risk giving a few goals up? Oh, what a save from Sunil. And then could have been bundled back into the net as well. So every attack's turning into a shot on goal. Flag eventually goes up very, very late on the far side.
Nevertheless, I would say this was a fantastic move over there. Simply great. The boot was high. That's the reason why the flag went up. Maybe otherwise the goalkeeper gets a real good save over there. What a combination. Once again we see Liston and Manveer getting together. That pass was really fast. just sees advancing Manveer coming inside, darting inside the box. Super stuff here.
And of course the other side of the coin was, should you sit back and soak up pressure and try to understand the lay of the land? Well, the answer possibly lies in the scoreline.
Yeah. But all said and done, South United has not been panicky or when they get the ball, they have been
15 মিনিট অতিক্রান্ত, মোহনবাগান 2, সাউথ ইউনাইটেড 0।
Moving on to the wide, they've got at least two or three crosses that have come dangerously inside. Otherwise, I think they're overawed with that eliteness of Mohun Bagan, the quality that they have, the technical. They're more technical, Mohun Bagan, and that may be foxing them. But what an experience for them. This is an offside, very clearly there. Yards away.
Entirely possible that their three at the back shape is not doing them any favours for South United, given how much Abhimite and Vishal Keth has been a little loose twice now. Given how Subhashish and Abhimite like to double up along with the winger on the same side, South United need to find a way to shore up those wide areas.
Yeah, very true. But they are really brave inside to pass that ball between the Mohun Bagan players. Sometimes it's psychological. You're playing the champions of India. You're playing the top players with foreign teams, foreign players inside. It needs really courage to get onto that field and do your passing right and get the crosses right. And hats off to this South United. They've done this second time also. Time and again we've said that young teams come up over here to showcase individual brilliance. There are some players over there with Daniel, Hawkip, Altab, Abhiram, Mustaf, and Kongsai also, who have shown that they can play at the highest level. Lovely piece of work over there. Simply between the three defenders, just getting that ball under his control. Didn't have the option, brought down.
Is Vincent Daniel takes it away from Deepak Tangri, shows him a turn of pace as well before he was stopped by Thapa.
Sometimes you wonder, whether you make the right decisions of carrying the ball. It's not very easy to get through the defenders over there, especially when you talk about Anirudh Thapa there. He's a workaholic, just getting behind any danger that comes in. Then you have to go through Deepak Tangri. It's important, if you have the option, just release the ball.
Sahal into the path for Manveer, who was just beaten to it by the centre-back. Sahal wins it back. Gorgeous feet. And now Liston. That anyway. Liston did really well to create that room for himself.
I was looking at to go on to the far right to get that curler. He didn't get that height over there. That's the reason why the defender was first to it. We've seen him curling balls to the far corner. What a quality he has, especially when it comes to crossing. This man, we're all talking about him. Defensively very strong.
Drazic. Needed a better pass for Thapa. They've had to change it up a little bit. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because there Drazic, the new signing, has provided another new signing, Rahul Beke, for his first goal in maroon and green. Both the centre-backs on the score sheet as well. And the Mariners are just running away with it. What a fine strike.
What a Superman that is in Rahul Beke. He just comes from behind. Look at him. Always the right position over there between the two defenders. Inch perfect pass. And a header connected well. The goalkeeper just singing there. Cannot just understand what is happening. The ball's moving. in and correctly to the right people. The two defenders now have scored the goals.
3-0. Surely it seems like there's no way back. There is the record, however, which is available for the highest winning margin. East Bengal equalled that record in their 8-0 win. And given that Mohun Bagan Supergiant already have the most number of Durand Cups, they'll probably want each and every record for themselves in this grand old tournament's history.
Very poor passing over there, especially when we talk about keeping the possession in the midfield and trying to get onto the wide. At this time, Rinshu trying to put the ball between the defenders, not really successful.
Yeah, the passing will become worse as the game goes on. It's a decent run made by Lister, just not spotted.
They actually looked very sharp, like they were a little sluggish in the first match. Mohun Bagan, they've shown how sharp they are in the attacking zone. They just try to put that 1-2 and defenders are just turning their backs.
One player on the pitch who does need a goal and some confidence is Deepak Sagni.
It should not be the opposite side.
And for those who obviously are well-wishers of Deepak, we've seen him play for a number of years. Sometimes players just tend to do certain things over and over again. Here's Sal, we'll talk about that in a second. Now Manvir
Abar
has a
goal.
chance. He doubles his tally and he makes it 4 for Bagan. And this is turning into an absolute schooling for South United.
Sometimes you know exactly what you need in the tournament, especially when you've seen East Bengal getting 8 goals in that match against CISF. It's important Mohun Bagan try and get about them to make themselves comfortable on the table, and this is a combination this time. Manvir simply curls that ball high and above the defender, away from the goalkeeper. Brilliant piece of work. What a clinical finish that was.
Excellent passing once more. From this point onwards, surely Mohun Bagan will take the plaudits, but a lot of it will also come down to South United simply not wanting to be there at this point. It's a little embarrassing, but they need to remember the intangibles of football, that they're to play a game and they have to give the best account of themselves, even if they end up losing 4-0 or 5-0 or maybe 9-0 or something like that. They have to be able to tell themselves that they tried their best. Whether that's happening or not right now is a big doubt.
I think that motivation has to come from the coach, especially when these boys are playing at the highest level. When you get a chance in the state league that you play at the state league and you're forgotten. And Durand Cup has given many teams a chance to really play at the top stage and play against the best players, especially the Indian players, the foreign players. And that's a great experience. I think what they will take away from here is the experience to play against top teams.
So, and Liston, there's a run from Subhashish, and Manvir is just tucked in. Subhashish goes straight into the box though, with Manvir looking for a hat-trick.
Nobody there to really, at the end of that cross, this man would have been happy with the way his team has played. Both the coaches really wondering what to do next.
Liston just trying to walk the ball into the back of the net. He might have hung a right foot behind to probably try and win a penalty. Smart refereeing, even at 4-0 up, for trying to buy a penalty. Referee's probably not going to give it.
If he's dropped down there inside the box, it has to be a penalty. Plus whatever we say, the game demands that. But nevertheless, once again, I think Liston did a pretty good job getting up. But it was very close. And the ball was not a little heavy touch that he got. Otherwise, this would have been a 5-0 there.
Nicely done by Deepak initially, and then the shot came in from Sahal. Raw power in that. That's more like it from Deepak Tangri as well. We were coming back to that point over and over again, and he's got to forget that people just talk about the yellow cards and him missing chances. He broke the lines with that pass. The flick fell to Sahal. He took that shot. It's going to be excellent to watch what Paris does with players who become slightly one-dimensional. Like a Sahal who could, he can only do tricks, but no, he can do a lot more if he's coached in the right way. Another shot comes in. Or a Deepak who can't pass the ball, but he can possibly pass it. If he
25
gets the
মিনিট
right
খেলা অতিক্রান্ত,
coaching with the
মোহনবাগান
right
4,
advice
সাউথ
of when to
ইউনাইটেড
do it.
0। মনবীর সিং দুটো গোল করেছেন, আলবার্টো রড্রিগেজ একটি এবং রাহুল বেকে মোহনবাগান জার্সিতে তার প্রথম গোল করে ফেলেছেন রাহুল বেকে। রিয়ান ড্রাজিচের পাস থেকে গোল করেছেন রাহুল বেকে।
That entire season for that, even if he plays a little bit bad, he needs to have the coach's shoulder so that he gets into that game with more confidence. And right now, it's the right time to have a player like Tangri over there. He's one solid player who can really cut off that defensive passes, whatever that is coming up his way.
Drazic. Deepak and now Rodriguez. Subhashish, Liston, back to the captain, whipped in, and Sahal has completely made a mess of that chance. Two shots that have just bounced past the post, and then this one just bouncing in front of him.
The passing was superb there. 1-2 pass, getting behind the defender. And then two options over there. Samal just had to step in over there, keep his composure and get that connection right. It just did not come in.
Might have just been put off by the presence of Drazic, who was also attempting to hit the ball on the half volley.
Yeah, it was more like the ball came and hit it than him hitting the ball.
Awareness to find Abhimite. He's turned to cross it in. Manveer could only get a shade of a header on that. Thapa. Just kept in play. Much better. Here's Daniel. And for the first time, South United managed to stitch a few passes together. Altaf's turn to cross it in. It's a
well
good
played,
ball as well. They needed one more body at least, making a run towards the near post.
Yeah, that's the courage I'm talking about. Even if you're 4-0 down, they get that transition. They're very quick in the passing. They have got the pace. They have got the quality of the crossing. But they need to add a little more bodies up front there.
Mite up against Noel. Mite has the pace. He possibly also has the presence of mind to find Manveer. It was going towards him.
What is interesting to watch over here is that when you have the ball on the wide, there are always 2 or 3 options up there, 3 maroon and red shirts, really giving that chance over there, and that's very interesting.
Could take this. Eventually the whistle went.
That was a handball by default, but one away. He's always been there on the shoulders. Clear a handball. What a shot that was, and the goalkeeper could not really reach that. Hit the upright and came back. That could be something that these young boys would have loved. But we have got into the attacking third. We've got the ball in the target, but unfortunately that offside.
Into a hydration break then. South United surely need one.
হাইড্রেশন ব্রেকের যাওয়ার আগে মোহনবাগান 4 সাউথ ইউনাইটেড 0।
Their coach.
29 মিনিট খেলা হয়েছে, মোহনবাগান 4 সাউথ ইউনাইটেড 0। মনবীর সিং দুটি গোল করেছেন তিনি 4 মিনিটে এবং ম্যাচের 21 মিনিটে মাথায় গোল করেছেন। আলবার্তো রড্রিগেজ তিনি গোল করে গিয়েছেন কর্নার থেকে হেডে। রাহুল বেকে তিনিও মোহনবাগানের ফরেনার দ্রিয়ান দাজিজের পাস থেকে গোল করে গেছেন। রাহুল বেকে মোহনবাগানের জার্সিতে তার প্রথম গোলটি করে ফেললেন। আগাগোড়া অ্যাটাকের ওপরে ভর করেছে মোহনবাগান। সাউথ ইউনাইটেডের প্রতিরোধ সেভাবে কোনো দানা বাঁধতে পারছে না, প্রচুর আক্রমণ করছে মোহনবাগান। মাত্র কিছুক্ষণ আগে সাউথ ইউনাইটেড প্লেয়ারদের দেখলাম একসাথে 4-5টা পাস খেলে এগিয়ে যেতে, ওটাই এখনো পর্যন্ত বেস্ট মুভ বলে আমার মনে হয়। জেমি ম্যাকলোরেন তিনি গ্যালারিতে বসে খেলা দেখছেন।
Gunning for that spot. Surely there might be a signing here and there, which might happen before the season starts, or before the league season starts, as one can correctly say, because the season has already started. And the competition for places in every position to have two players of almost equal talent and skill, or same profile, is what Bagan have always tried to do.
Yeah, it's important there, you have some competition in the game. You are able to rotate players, give players a little bit of rest. Sometimes injuries come into being a long season, and that's always loved to have two players in any position.
Liston, that one's cleared away. Rodriguez keeps it in. Subashish plays it down the wings for Liston again. Oh, the clearance is straight in the box, and this time Saul Abdul Samad sees the ball come off the inside of the post.
It's a bad luck for him.
Thapa quickly closed down from behind. Could have been a foul, but doesn't even ask for it. Good work from Deepak as well, but a free kick just before that as Subashish went in for the challenge.
বত্রিশ মিনিট খেলা অতিক্রান্ত, মোহনবাগান 4
Drazic.
সাউথ ইউনাইটেড এফসি 0।
Subashish and Liston. Moonwalk. Didn't end up with Sahal though. Needed a stronger pass.
I think they're combining pretty well over there, Sahal and Liston. They really combine too good. They look at each other. They get the balls. Those penetrating balls between the defenders are very easily passed. They have to be more compact here, South United, especially when they are in the defensive mode. They've not been catching or man-to-man marking up front. It's really missing over there. That's a push from behind. Simply looking at the referee there. But all said and done, it's a superior technical ability that Mohun Bagan has shown.
Sahal. Drazic measuring the through ball for Manveer, who is looking for a hat-trick. The stop, the start, and then the interminable wait before it comes off the upright again. Salatul Samad, wow. Is he doing that on purpose?
Oh, what a fantastic curler that was on the forehead. But unlucky once again. What a quality he's got. Especially when the passing was so good. The ball for Manveer did not work. He came back, lays the ball back, and look at Samad just bouncing on it. And the goalkeeper has no clue as to what is happening, where it is going to go. The ball just did not dip and curve at the right time.
But is that 4 times he's hit the woodwork?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Someone somewhere out there in this Indian football universe might know a thing or two about the record number of times a single player has struck the woodwork in a game in Indian football. If you're listening to this, would be very, very pleased to have said information passed on to us somehow.
Yeah, I think that was really when you get on to that. Because he's one man who's free. He's given a free role to really get back behind the strikers. And he creates so many times the chances.
Expecting a flurry of changes as well from Dil Paris. What a game to give some players a chance, for him to see them in competitive action. It's one thing to watch them train well and see them earn a place by doing decently in a training match, certain drills and exercises, but to see them compete on the pitch is different. As Daniel big pockets,
ভালো start
Tapa
ছিল
draws a great
সাউথ
save from
ইউনাইটেড একটা ভালো
Vishal.
প্রচেষ্টা ছিল
Excellent all-round work.
Now that's the top we were talking about. These players are courageous. They just want to get inside, get that chance, and look at him. A little bit of chance over there, little vision of the goal, and what a strike that is. And equal to that is Vishal Khed. Was a little bit sloppy with his foot, but this time with his hand, he's absolutely brought a stellar save for them.
And you know what? All credit to Daniel for attempting that. They're playing against a big team. He knows people are watching this game. He knows a lot of coaches, a lot of scouts might be watching it. Why not? You put on a show. Take your chance against the big guns and draw a save from one of the most consistent goalkeepers in Indian football over the last few years.
And whatever you say, I think that they're not afraid of really getting in the transition level. They, as soon as they get the ball, their movement is there to get into the midfield, make 1 or 2 passes and get into the attacking zone. And that's very interesting. If they can get 1 goal for all the courage that they have shown, it will be really beneficial for these youngsters.
Listen, nice touch. It could very well be possible, Henry, that those are the exact things that Khaja Mohiuddin has told the team. You go out, you play your attacking system, you play the way we play. If we lose by 10 goals, it comes on my shoulder. I'll take responsibility. But the team plays a certain way and they continue doing that.
It's heartening to see them play. It's not very easy. Time and again we have seen some of the teams, they just stop, they freeze after 2 or 3 goals. But this team has not freezed. They are keeping going. Look at that activity that they are doing. It's high cop there, Mustafa, Abhiram, and especially Daniel. He's done all the hard work up front there. Almost got tangled with Vishal Khed on 2 occasions. And that's some credit we should give them.
Abhimite, Manveer, that demands perfection.
Yeah, I think so. A little bit of delay in his passing. That is something that we talk when you have so many options around you. You have to make a decision to give that pass either in front or behind and get into position. And that's exactly that nod was from the great Panayotis.
Let's see what the idea was, just to try and curl that into the path of Daniel. Here's Deepak. Ashish. Taken away quickly by Abhiram.
And they're not afraid to go 1v1, that's interesting over here from South United, especially Abhiram on the right, and there's Mustafa on the left, Haikop up front. They're trying every little bit of it that they want to get into that attacking zone and the transition takes place. And that's something you talk about. Technical abilities, I think Mohun Bagan has got a bit of technical ability in this game. No wonder a small brilliance, an individual brilliance from South United can get them something. There was Daniel who could really go in behind the defenders and create something.
Here's Manveer, just went out of play. Throw in here.
Yeah, you see on the line the coach really surprised the ball has not crossed the line. That's what he was trying to say.
Good first touch. He's trying to earn a free kick and is successful in doing so.
He's in front of that man who cuts off every ball that comes into the danger zone.
Altab. Oh, nice idea. Low ball, but once again, just a couple of players in the box. No one to challenge Alberto Rodriguez and his clearance. As Abimite just made a little too strongly for Drazic.
They're very swift in their attack, especially when the ball comes to Abimite. There's a lot of options up front there. Sahal Abdul also getting into position. You have Manveer in position. Rashid also getting into that position, but unfortunately that heavy ball just couldn't reach anyone. The idea is good. They need some more goals in this match over here. Plus the way Mohun Bagan are playing, 3 or 4 balls hit the upright. There were 4 or 5 missed chances.
That becomes important, especially in a group like this. Sees the goal have a +7 goal difference, an 8-0 win and a 1-0 defeat. Mohun Bagan Supergiant are currently on a +5 goal difference. And when it eventually comes down to the 2 best second-placed teams, which will go into the quarters, the tiebreaker will be goal difference. So it's important that both the Kolkata clubs or any team which has the chance to rack up the goals will do exactly that.
Yeah, that's the reason why they beefed up their entire team, getting in Rashid, they've got in Deepak Tangri, and also if you look at them, Alberto, to really strengthen that team, to keep that fluidity in the passing and the attack.
Drazic and now Abimite. Cross possibly needed more power for Liston to try and attack that ball rather than glance it towards goal.
Yeah, it's always the case, the cross has been coming in. They have the options up front. 2 or 3 maroon shirts are always there for the option, but they're not in the position to really attack the ball. And that's the reason why, like you said, a spot jump, momentum with the run to the ball is always important.
Half-time approaching very quickly. South United will be happy to go into the dressing room and just reinforce whatever belief they have left. Here's Liston. Nicely sets up Manveer, and here's a Sahal. Neat exchange of passes. Liston waits for Sahal. Oh, it's almost like pinball before it had to be swept out of play by their own player, Rishik, getting the last touch.
Have you seen that? I'm just surprised at the passing that is inside the box over here. 7-8 passes inside, and look at that. A blind pass to Sahal, who just glides that ball to Manveer. Just could not beat the keeper there. Lucky for the keeper, Sunil. He has been really scrambling for that ball. but nevertheless he's put his body and stopped that goal.
Thapa. Sunil Singh gets something on that, brave goalkeeping from him.
Yeah, very alert. He's agile too. He's got one or two good saves. This time really coming out of his post. Very courageous between the two defenders.
Couple of minutes added on. Good ball from Rodriguez. Here's Thapa. Likes to go wide. Drazic is waiting for Subhashish's run. Liston with a little chop. And the collection and then the shot, which just went high. He always had an option. Go low or go high. He went for power.
We're all talking about the derby win, that they were not clinical in the final third. That's creeping in. Slowly and steadily, though they are 4-0 up, it's important that you play, hit the target, test the goalkeeper. Time and again, that's failing as the game goes by.
Yeah, Del Peros will be reminding them that this is Mohun Bagan Super Giant. You don't miss 5 or 6 chances. Sometimes it's the mind as well, though, Henry. When you're 4-0 up, concentration can take a little bit of a knock, complacency can creep in, and all of that can eventually lead to a bad finish or a mistake here and there.
No, I don't think so, Pulast. Because when you are coming into the game knowingly that East Bengal has got 8 goals plus 7, you want the number of goals to come.
Oh, here it is. Oh, almost. Almost. The hat-trick was staring. Pardon me, Henry. Block you out, but Manveer Singh with 2 already. Sahal, Drazic, all combining to create another golden chance. And now you can talk about why those are not going in.
Yeah, it needs a little bit of composure. You don't have to hurry on everything. There, you need a composure. You exactly know the ball is coming in. You are behind the ball. Wrap that feet. Just put it for a connection, not for a shot. Let the goalkeeper do his saving. You just have to keep the ball into that target. That is very important.
হাফ টাইম
He could have had 2 hat-tricks, Manveer. Sahal could have had 2 as well.
হাফ টাইমের পরে মোহনবাগান 4 সাউথ ইউনাইটেড 0। ফার্স্ট হাফে 4-0 গোলে এগিয়ে মোহনবাগান। সাউথ ইউনাইটেড এমন কোনো আঁচড় কাটতে পারেনি এখনও পর্যন্ত, তবে একটাই তাদের গোলমুখী শট, একটা কি দুটো ভালো মুভমেন্ট দেখা গিয়েছে, এর বাইরে কিছু নয়। অনেক সহজ প্রতিপক্ষ, গোলের সংখ্যা আরও বাড়তে পারত। ফার্স্ট হাফেই 5-6টা গোল তো হয়েই যায়। মনবীর সিং হ্যাট্রিক করতে পারেন, সাহাল আব্দুল সামাদেরও অন্তত 2টো গোল হয়েই যেত। বল পজিশন 67% মোহনবাগানের, 33% সাউথ ইউনাইটেডের। শট 17টা মোহনবাগান, একটা সাউথ ইউনাইটেড। অন টার্গেটে 8টা শট মোহনবাগানের, সাউথ ইউনাইটেড 1টা। যেটা বলছিলাম আপনাদেরকে, সব দিক থেকে কিন্তু এগিয়েই থেকেই নেমেছে মোহনবাগান, যেমনটা আমি আজকে প্রিভিউ ভিডিওতেও বলেছি। ম্যাচের 4 মিনিটের মাথাতেই মনবীর সিং গোল পেয়ে যান। স্ট্রাইকার হিসেবে খেলছেন মনবীর আজকের ম্যাচে। 2টো উইংয়ে খেলছেন রাজিজ এবং লিস্টন কুলাসো। আবার কমেন্ট্রি নিয়ে ফিরে আসবো সেকেন্ড হাফে। টিম বড় ব্যাপার মানে নয়, কোন টিমের বিরুদ্ধে খেলছে সেটা বড় ব্যাপার না, বড় ব্যাপার হচ্ছে যে খেলেছে মোহনবাগান এবং
with an own goal
8-8টা
to
গোল
add into
হলো।
the mix. Mohun Bagan was simply majestic.
ভারতীয় স্ট্রাইকাররা গোল পেয়েছে 5-5টা গোল, এটাই কিন্তু সবচেয়ে বড় ব্যাপার। যুবভারতী ক্রীড়াঙ্গনে সাউথ ইউনাইটেডকে 8-0 গোলে হারালো মোহনবাগান সুপার জায়ান্ট। একেবারে জায়ান্ট রূপই নিয়েছে আজকে যেন মোহনবাগান। আরও গোটা 3-4 গোল তো পেতেই পারতো তারা, তবে সাউথ ইউনাইটেডের খেলা সেকেন্ড হাফটা শুরু ভালো করেছিল কিন্তু তেমনভাবে দাগ কাটতে পারেনি তারা। মোহনবাগান তাদের সমস্ত অস্ত্রই ঝালিয়ে নিয়েছে এক প্রকার। মনবীর সিং তিনি হ্যাট্রিক করেছেন, সোহেল ভাট তিনি জোড়া গোল করেছেন। বল পজিশনে মোহনবাগান ভালো, 64%, 36% হচ্ছে সাউথ ইউনাইটেডের। শট 28টা, 3টে অন টার্গেট, 12টা সাউথ ইউনাইটেডের, 2টো অন টার্গেট। কর্নার 10টা করেছে মোহনবাগান, 10টা পেয়েছে সাউথ ইউনাইটেড 3টে মাত্র। 14টা ফাউল করেছে মোহনবাগান, এটাও বেশি, 5টা ফাউল করেছে সাউথ ইউনাইটেড। মোহনবাগান একটা ইয়েলো কার্ড দেখেছে যেটা ওরা দেখেইনি, রেড কার্ড কেউ পায়নি। 8-8টা গোল মোহনবাগানের, ভাবা যাচ্ছে না জাস্ট।
That's what you keep an eye on, the timing, the touch, the precision, and how the players are adjusting their bodies. Because Bagan's players have had the time to show what top quality players look like.
গোলের বন্যা দেখলাম আমরা আজকেও। সাউথ ইউনাইটেডকে 8টা গোল দিল মোহনবাগান সুপার জায়ান্ট। তারা 8-0 গোলে জিতলো। মনবীর সিং তিনি হ্যাট্রিক করলেন, সোহেল ভাট করলেন জোড়া গোল, রাহুল বেকে, অ্যালবার্টো রড্রিগেজরাও গোল পেলেন। আপনাদের কি মনে হয় যে আজকের ম্যাচে ম্যান অফ দ্য ম্যাচ কে হতে পারেন? মোহনবাগান 8 গোলে জিতলো, সাউথ ইউনাইটেডকে 8টা গোল দিল। তবে ড্রাজিকের খেলা খুব ভালো লাগলো না। তো ভালো লেগেছে মনবীর এবং সোহেল ভাট, তারা গোল পেয়েছেন। ভারতীয় স্ট্রাইকাররা গোল করেছেন, এটাই কিন্তু অনেক বড় ব্যাপার। এবং 5-5টা গোল করেছে স্ট্রাইকাররা, সেটা একটা বড় দিক, যেটা নিঃসন্দেহে সোহেল ভাট বা মনবীরদেরকে কনফিডেন্স দেবে পরবর্তী ম্যাচগুলোতে। এবং এই জায়গাতে দাঁড়িয়ে আমি বলবো এটা একটা ভালো দিক। যতই সাউথ ইউনাইটেড দুর্বল দল হোক না কেন, এখান থেকে গোল করাটাও একটা বড় ব্যাপার। সেই গোলটা তারা পেয়েছে এবং সেটা একটা বড় দিক, যেটা আচ্ছা, অনেকেই খেলা কোথায় দেখবো? সোনি লিভে খেলা দেখা যেতে পারে, বা সোনি যে স্পোর্টস চ্যানেলটা রয়েছে সেখানেই খেলা দেখা যায়, ফ্রিতেই খেলা দেখা যাবে, অসুবিধে কিছু নেই। এটা আমার এই কারণে করা, যারা অন্তত সেটাও দেখতে পাচ্ছেন না, ফ্রিতেও দেখতে পাচ্ছেন না, তাই তাদের জন্য এই ব্যবস্থাপনা আর কি। মোহনবাগান 8-0 গোলে জিতেছে। কারেন্ট স্কোরই দিচ্ছি, একদম কারেন্ট স্কোর, খেলা শেষ হয়ে গেছে। 8 গোল মোহনবাগানের, সাউথ ইউনাইটেডের 0, কোনো গোল করতে পারেনি। এবং মোহনবাগানের এই জয়, তারা কোয়ার্টার ফাইনালে ইজিলি চলে গেল, কারণ তারা ডার্বি ম্যাচটাও জিতেছিল, ফলত তারা কোয়ার্টার ফাইনালে ইজি পৌঁছে গেছে। এখানে কোথাও আর কোনো সমস্যা নেই। এবং এবার ইস্টবেঙ্গলকে যেটা করতে হবে, যেহেতু এই গ্রুপেই রয়েছে ইস্টবেঙ্গলকে পরের ম্যাচটা জিততে হবে এবং বড় ব্যবধানেই সাউথ ইউনাইটেডের বিরুদ্ধে জিততে হবে। তবে আজকে সাউথ ইউনাইটেডের খেলা দেখে মনে হয়েছে যে ইস্টবেঙ্গলের কাছে খুব বড় ব্যাপার হবে না একে হারানো। কিন্তু হ্যাঁ, কত গোলের ব্যবধানে জিতবে ইস্টবেঙ্গল, জিতে তারা পরবর্তী রাউন্ডে যেতে পারবে কিনা, কারণ অন্যান্য গ্রুপেও টিম রয়েছে। সেক্ষেত্রে ইস্টবেঙ্গলকে পরের রাউন্ডে যেতে গেলে গ্রুপ রানার, কিন্তু ওই সেকেন্ড রানার হয়ে যেতে হবে, কারণ 6টা গ্রুপ থেকে 6টা গ্রুপ চ্যাম্পিয়নরা যাবে এবং তারপরে 2টো টিম যাবে যারা ভালো পজিশনে রানার আপ, কিন্তু যাদের গোল সংখ্যা পয়েন্ট বেশি রয়েছে তারা সেভাবে যাবে। তো সেই দিক থেকেই ইস্টবেঙ্গলেরও চান্স রয়েছে। ইস্টবেঙ্গলের পর ম্যাচটা 7 তারিখে খুব সম্ভবত। তো নিঃসন্দেহে ইস্টবেঙ্গলকেও গোল করতে হবে সাউথ ইউনাইটেডের বিরুদ্ধে। মোহনবাগানের এখনও একটা খেলা বাকি আছে, ধরে নেওয়া যায় মোহনবাগান ওই ম্যাচটাও জিতে যাবে। 3টে ম্যাচ জিতেই মোহনবাগান পরবর্তী রাউন্ডে চলে যাবে। তবে এই ম্যাচগুলো ইস্টবেঙ্গল মোহনবাগানের মতন টিমের কাছে কিন্তু ভালো একটা প্র্যাকটিস ম্যাচ, প্রত্যেকেই কনফিডেন্স পাচ্ছে, গোল পাচ্ছে, এটাই কিন্তু দরকার ছিল, আর সেটা তারা পাচ্ছে, এটা যথেষ্ট ভালো দিক।